Hi, my name is Dr. Kobe, your favorite movie reviewer and narrator. Today, I will be reviewing a movie called A Vow Redeemed. Meet Fred, a 29-year-old engineer who is smart, lively, and funny. Confident and naturally flirtatious, Fred knows how to draw attention wherever he goes. Often seen as the life of every party, Fred was outgoing, energetic, and loved being around people. He enjoyed parties and social gatherings and had always attracted plenty of female attention. Having been exposed to relationships and intimacy from an early age, he developed a strong desire for physical affection and found it difficult to go long without it. As a smooth talker, he has little trouble maneuvering his way around women. Meet Sandra, a 25-year-old banker who is quiet, reserved, and deeply introverted. Unlike Fred's outgoing nature, Sandra prefers a simple and private life. She values emotional connection far more than physical intimacy. Sandra is deeply committed to her work, often spending extra hours working even from home. Fred struggles with Sandra's low sexual drive, while Sandra struggles with Fred's constant need for physical intimacy. They were complete opposites, different in lifestyle, different in priorities, and different in the way they approached life. To everyone who knew them, the big question was always the same. How could a relationship like this ever work? Despite their differences, they fell in love. Fred assumed that if he ever needed more excitement, he could always find it outside the marriage. Fred never viewed their differences as a serious problem. He believed he could adapt and make the marriage work. Determined to be a faithful husband, he made a personal commitment to remain loyal during the first year of marriage. But Fred didn't see their differences as a threat, he saw them as balance. Their completely opposite lifestyles were never a problem for them. They were in love, and in their eyes, that was all that truly mattered. Even though friends and family often questioned how their relationship would survive, Fred and Sandra held on to the belief that love would be enough to carry them through. Their dating years were filled with misunderstandings, compromises, and emotional adjustments. Still, after 5 years of dating, Fred chose Sandra. He believed love would be enough. Fred finally proposed to Sandra. It wasn't a dramatic proposal with fireworks or a crowd cheering. It was quiet, sincere, and deeply emotional. And in that moment, Sandra says yes. Friends whispered behind their backs. Family members exchanged worried and skeptical glances. But despite their love, everyone predicts disaster. Some even said it openly, this marriage won't last. Their wedding was a colorful celebration with friends and family gathered in excitement for the couple. Before a Catholic priest, Fred and Sandra exchanged their wedding vows, smiling with joy and hope. Even on their wedding day, beneath the joy and celebration, some guests exchanged quiet whispers about their differences, wondering how long a union like theirs could really endure. It was a beautiful moment, and both of them were genuinely excited about the future they were beginning together. Barely 6 months into the marriage, the excitement had already started to fade. As the tension grew, difficult thoughts began to settle in. For Fred, it became increasingly hard to cope with Sandra's consistent refusal of intimacy, night after night. The compromises they once made for love were gradually becoming burdens too heavy to carry. The marriage went from this once happy and lovely couple to complete strangers living an opposite lifestyle. Fred's desire for intimacy clashed with Sandra's quiet, reserved nature. She loved him deeply, but she didn't understand the intensity of his needs or why he felt rejected when she simply wasn't in the mood. To her, it was nothing personal. To him, it felt like a door closing every night. The more he tried to communicate, the more misunderstood he felt. The more she tried to explain, the more pressured she felt. Their home became a place of unspoken tension, a silent distance growing wider with each passing week. Fred held on to his vow as long as he could. He fought the urges. He reminded himself of his promise. He tried. He truly did. But Sandra's frequent refusal of intimacy made that vow feel heavier each day. The more he struggled to stay committed, the more distant Sandra became. He tried to be patient, but loneliness has a way of whispering louder than conscience. Nights of rejection turned into frustration, and frustration turned into temptation. After 1 year of faithfulness, Fred broke. He returned to his old habits: women, excitement, the thrill he felt he was missing at home. Sandra eventually discovered some of his affairs, and their home became a battlefield of tears, accusations, and emotional distance. But even her pain didn't slow him down. Then one night, Fred met Amber. Amber seemed to be everything Fred thought he wanted. She understood his desires, shared his interests, and their connection was intense and exciting. The more time Fred spent with Amber, the more he questioned his marriage to Sandra. Fred and Amber seemed like everything he had been missing. She understood his desires, shared his interests, and their connection felt thrilling and effortless. As he spent more time with her, Fred found himself increasingly questioning his marriage to Sandra. Fred grew more absorbed in his phone with each passing day, constantly messaging Amber and exchanging private, intimate content. Their conversations pulsed with desire, each caption and reply revealing how deeply they craved one another in that very moment. To Fred, Amber felt like the answer to desires he had kept alive in silence for so long. She understood him in ways that felt immediate and electric, sharing his interests, his passion, and the intense physical connection he had always longed for. The fantasies that once lived only in Fred's imagination suddenly felt real in Amber's presence, because she was just as eager to embrace them. And as their connection deepened, Fred found himself drifting further away from Sandra and questioning the vows he once made. Fred soon began spending more nights outside his matrimonial home, and as the days went by, Sandra barely set eyes on him. Distance quietly settled into their marriage, while Fred and Amber continued going out together, to bars, nightclubs, and anywhere their growing connection could thrive. Sandra started staying awake almost all night waiting for Fred to come back home. The more worried Sandra is about Fred's sudden change, the more Fred spends time with Amber. Fred and Amber continued going out together, to bars, nightclubs, and anywhere their growing connection could thrive. They have same passion for life. Then one day, Sandra stumbled upon a message that changed everything. It was a text from Amber sent to Fred while he was at work, accompanied by an explicit video and the words, "Watch out for part 2 of the movie. What would Sandra do and what action did she take? What did Fred do? Did he abandon Sandra to follow his heart desire? Watch out to find out."